how we do in game number 3 here. The draft has begun. So, first ban popping up here. Let's see what Synergy wants to get rid of. Or beGenius. No, it's Synergy.
Tassadar or Zeratul?
Tassadar's been their go-to.
Probably Zeratul if they have first pick. Maybe they go back to the Tassadar again.
They ban Ragnaros.
Okay. So, they don't want Ragnaros.
Maybe they discovered that late game Ragnaros is kind of good. Resilient Flame at 13 with the 50 armor is insane. Submerge at level 20 is really, really good. Maybe they decided, you know what, if we do get to that area, we might want to play it. Ragnaros is pretty solid this map, because again, he's one of those that if you lose the Immortal, you can kind of defend, but if you win the Immortal, you also get this really cool pushing power, so it makes sense too in that regard.
All right, so Tassadar is Synergy's enabler to make them aggressive. Otherwise, they look for alternate paths. So they don't ban it. They don't, well, beGenius didn't ban it either. Clearly, they're scared of Artanis. So now where do they go? They could go the Illidan path again and just ram it down the throats of beGenius, causing them for a very scary potential.
Yeah, I feel like picking Illidan this early against a Malfurion, you already have CC, so it kind of hurts to pick into that. I feel like a second support is usually what you want to pick up in the first couple of phases here, too. At that point, you want to get your Tassadar, and then you want to get your next foundation, whether it be your Malfurion or your Rhaegar. And then from there, you can start to look at your third, fourth, and fifth picks of what damage you want in terms of auto attacks, right?
Yeah. They could go down another path, which would be go like very shield heavy, like mix in a Zarya later on down the line, and really out-sustain in some of those mid brawls that you actually see going on. But are they going to go hyper-aggression?
One of the combinations that I see a lot from Europe, just on this map in general, just for you guys' awareness, is Zarya, Tassadar, and Sergeant Hammer. That is insane. We've seen this in front in the past. But we do have Greymane and ETC.
You called it.
Greymane makes sense. He shreds Immortals. His attack speed when he's able to use his Inner Beast, it just gives him the ability to really destroy the Immortals. He just brings pure DPS when something is standing still. He has a hard time chasing to some degree unless he goes for go for throat, but when an Immortal is just there, he's having a heyday. Yeah,
there's a good potential for a race to happen here for Synergy, and looks like they could potentially be in the lead now. Li Ming on the other side lends herself to more the idea of poking, not necessarily racing an Immortal, but poking down your opponents while they're trying to jostle for position in that mid area. So there's different kind of tempos being set already here in the draft.
Yeah, Li Ming brings the pressure of, you mentioned the poking down the Immortal, but you can position yourself in the center of the entire Immortal phase. And so you have this versatility of, okay, if they want to fight, we can throw orbs at them, right? Or I can just keep dealing with the Immortal. So the attack speed also from ETC is great here. It helps out with Greymane. Generally, you'll have ETC in the combo of trying to burn down the Immortal just to grab in the more auto attackers and get more value out of that. So now we look at our third and fourth pick. Johanna is a hero that I actually like a lot for just disrupting any type of race that's happening. If you can get into the backline, you usually for the most part can sit on the Immortal, not die, give blinds, and also condemn everyone towards you and just be disruptive.
I think they might go down an entire poke composition beGenius now. The reason that comes to mind is because Tank for the Win, he's a guy that he loves Ragnaros. We've seen him play that a few times during this with a win and a loss. But he likes playing Thrall as well, and Synergy knows that. And also, another of his go-to is Artanis, which has kind of been denied by them. So, Falstad is going to get picked up. Tank for the Win. I'm really curious to see what he's going to end up on here.
Let's see here what the move will be. I was thinking Lunara, but with already having Falstad and Li Ming, it's too much backline. You would just get shredded by Greymane when you ever get into fights. There is Murd in here. So this is more of... we delay, we throw out Storm Bolts, we poke a lot, we have tools if things just aren't going our way. We have our Mighty Gust, we have Roots available, we have Wave of Force if we want to go that route, and Murden can just hang out by himself. The fifth pick is going to have to really bring this all together.
I'd love to see Zarya on side of beGenius, but we'll see what happens in a moment. Synergy, what are they going to go for here? What do they need? They need another main support, which I suppose in this instance could end up being Brightwing?
Could we see Karazim? We've seen before in the past a lot of Karazim being picked up by Sepka. He moves into Brightwing. Brightwing gives you a couple of things in this battleground. One, if you do get into poke wars, which isn't something that this team should be doing, she gives you that healing that's available, but mostly it's a soak, because this map is a 2-lane map. You usually can't afford the resources to send somebody to push down a lane, but with Falstad being picked by BOE, you can be sure they're going to try and go for the soaking. Brightwing counters that, so she makes the most sense here for the second support.
I want something wild beyond... beGenius, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because As I say, there's a bit of a limiter here on Mr. Tank for the win, unless he ends up playing like the Falstad or something weird, but I doubt that would be happening because Arakeen and Kirva would normally be on the 2 ranges. What are you going to pick up? Alarak, and that is the wild card that I was wanting. Oh my god. Forget any of like an extra tank. Get that big, meaty damage in there from Alarak. Let's see how he's going to play that.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. We watched Misfits actually in the past play Darkmark in particular play Alarak a lot on this battleground. There's a lot of chokes available around the Immortal phase. You can pull people in when they're actually trying to burn down your Immortal, get them stunned, and next thing you know, you have a CC train because you follow up with Murd and Stormbolt. So Alarak is a crazy wild card. I want to see how they pull it off in general here because he's one of those heroes that if he misses his combo, it can be painful.
Yep, definitely, definitely. There's been some good iteration as well in Europe of I want to call it more patient Alarak play, where people don't necessarily look for the entire combo, but just play it slow, steady. And I think in this instance, when he's behind with a Leeming and a Falstad and only one warrior, he might have to kind of take a small step back. Yeah. Don't be the crazy Hero League Alarak that jumps in and dies every 5 seconds, because that's what most of them do. But just be patient. Be patient.
Yeah, go Counter-Strike, use the telekinesis to push people into the stuns. Just enough to disrupt a lot of stuff, because Alarak is just one of those heroes that can just be almost force of Medivh in some situations where he's just constantly throwing you around. You're like, guys, please stop. I want to get an engage. And then you have that with the Mighty Gust. This could be a thing that works out here for beGenius. I feel like the main factor for Synergy is Greymane. How is Greymane played throughout this duration? If he is not on point with his positioning and his movement, you can see him flying all over the place, getting pulled into a combo, getting taken out, and suddenly a majority of the DPS that is available for Synergy is wasted.
It's one of the only maps we see him on in Europe, actually. We saw in HGC North America yesterday a lot of Greymane, you know, with cocktail build and just kind of trying to go for that. And it was really cool to watch it kind of play out. In Europe, very rarely do we get a chance to view it too much, so excited to see how it's going to play.
All right, it looks like we're ready for game number 3. Let's check it out. beGenius taking on Synergy.
All right, Trixler, it's game 3. Oof. I can't hold it in, as we do have to the left-hand side will be Mr. beGenius in the blue. Arakeen going to be playing that Falstad. We have Danatan on the Muradin. Next up, it's going to be Kirva playing Leeming. On towards Tank for the win on the Alarak. Look out for that guy. And Unstable, rounding things out on Malfurion.
On the far right, the red team, Synergy. Here's Sefka on Brightwing Hydra with the Greymane. And Hydra is such a good choice for this. He is such a great mechanical player. In the bottom right, Power with ETC. Sir Ice Cream will be playing Tassadar, and Neon playing Tychus.
This is going to be cool. So I think focal points for me, again, you know, I just mentioned the Alarak, but you mentioned the Greymane. These two heroes in these compositions going up against one another, it's going to be very cool to see how they're going to get utilized and if they can be the true playmakers here for the team.
Yeah, it's volatile. It depends about... It mostly comes down to Alarak. Alarak's the one that kind of dictates the matchup, and then Greymane's a punisher if things do not go right for Tank for the win. So, 4 people in the bottom lane, this is a standard thing that you'll see. However, Synergy, not being so standard, they have elected to put 2 in the top lane. Try and bully out that Falstad. For the most part, Falstad is good at kind of clearing when he hits his Q, but he's not the most efficient clear.
Yep.
Greymane can do okay, but he has to sustain. So if you put 2 in the top lane, you can actually put a lot of pressure on the Falstad and force somebody to come up. And in fact, Donatan has.
Yeah, and Sevka is in a great position here because this, as you say, it forces the 2v2, and then Sevka can easily just teleport bottom if he needs to be there. So it's as if it's a pseudo fourth just anywhere on the map anyway, in essence, in that bot lane.
Yep, and here we go. Donatan does reveal that he is up here. However, Hydra keeps up with the pressure, pushing in the lane. Arakeen taking some damage here. Hydra goes in for the engage. We'll use the Dark Flight. Nice play more from Falstad there. You don't want him to hit in the Q there, the hammering, whenever Greymane's trying to get those auto attacks in, because if you slow him down just enough, Muradin can outstep him. Falstad is forced to back, but can fly on in, and we had our first aggression of the game.
Yeah, and looks like Neon Ice Cream and Power of Dreams will just hold on down towards the bottom. Tank for the win, not looking for anything just yet. You can see he has plenty of mana. Coupling up an Alarak with Malfurion is quite nice, but a lot of his abilities don't cost that much mana anyway, so he's okay, is Alarak down towards the bottom.
Okay, we have our blue team currently defending their own Immortal. I want to see how they handle this, but put Tychus in the bottom. Usually on the first Immortal phase, if the opposing team doesn't immediately rush to your Immortal, you try to soak level 4 and then start getting back into the engagement and dealing with the Immortal. You just want to grab that advantage, and Tychus and Brightwing are doing just that. Power does come up the Scout to see if it's safe for Hydra to start applying damage. He does get a little bit in, but immediately you see this dance that will keep occurring. Where's Greymane, and how do we respond to him?
Denisan manages to get out of there very, very quickly with his Dwarf Toss. Doesn't have third wind, so this will take a little while for him to heal up longer. That's a lockdown on towards Tychus. He's going to end up falling. A shield on towards him. He dashes away. Is he going to get away? No! Arakan gets in there with the Hammerang, picking up first blood and a second to follow up. Great telekinesis.
Solid telekinesis. Tank for the win, securing a second takedown for his team. A few members should start heading to the other Immortal and start poking it down. Now, dead timers are relatively low at this point. I believe it's about 8 to 10 seconds. So they will have a response soon. Greymane, though, looks like he's actually already causing aggression up here on the top left. We do have the Polymorph right away on Tank for the win. Hydra going for the takedown. Can he secure it? He does. Gotta be careful. If you miss that telekinesis, Hydra will dive on it.
Yeah, I was looking to question if they'd gone too deep for that kill, but it seems that it was only Muradin as well as Malfurion looking to help on that situation. And as a compensation there for beGenius, they did get a lot of damage done to the Immortal on the other side. Falstad falls, though, and they can't be losing members like that, because otherwise this race will catch up very quickly for Synergy.
Yeah, Hydra's over on the right side here just trying to apply DPS. They know that they're behind in the Immortal race right now. Now with the Falstad pick off, it's helpful. Now the next thing is to try and find another assassin to take out. Alarak or Li Ming be great, because Falstad can fly in the next 2 seconds.
Yeah, Greymane is actually catching up heavily now. Exactly how you described it at the beginning, Trick. It's causing a lot of problems here for beGenius. They have to take this fight. They've got to do something, because Greymane is ticking down a timer on the other side of the map, and they've not done enough. They have not done enough. beGenius is going to lose this.
Yeah, all Synergy has to do here is make sure not to die, and they did not die. In fact, Falstad is taken out, so they get an Immortal, they get another takedown, and now Synergy has the first pressure of the game.
Very good coordination there by Team Synergy, just to realize exactly what they had to do. That was the perfect play for them there to catch up and apply pressure. And now they will divide themselves across lanes again, still before 10. You want to soak that experience. beGenius cannot be falling behind.
I wonder if the better play there for beGenius would be to have Falstad fly over the Immortal and just run towards Greymane with the help of Muradin, and they try to just get him up and try and get a kill. Either slow him or try to get the kill there, because I feel like if you don't stop Greymane, they just have all the tools here to delay forever. They have ETC, they can power slide, knock you back, not allow for the DPS to happen. Once you start losing that race, you have to deal with Greymane.
And it's double support as well. So if they're like cycling out ETC, just making sure he's not going to take too much damage, Power of Dream is going very far in there, on towards Falstad. Arakin manages to barrel roll away, and Tank for the win was looking for a combination towards Sevka. That's not a bad orb there from Kirva to slow it down, but it's not really doing too much. Brightwing is healing up so much in the backline.
That she is. Falstad is just having a bad day right now. That's a third power slide on top of him. He needs to play a little bit more position back, or at least if ETC's playing forward, trying to get into a situation where you have a concave in the top right or the top left. Stop being in such a scenario, because Arakin keeps getting picked off and it's hurting his team.
Yeah, this bodes well, I think, for the entire HGC Europe for Team Synergy if they're able to stick together and be a collective unit, because across 3 games, they've shown 3 very different styles, I feel. They've accommodated themselves to the maps nicely. Didn't go quite as well in Game 2, obviously, but right now they're doing okay. Likewise, beGenius, different styles, but Tank for the win. I'm still looking for the Alarak to prove itself heavy.
Yeah, and we talked about it before. These 2 teams are the wild card, because everyone believes them to be in the 6 to 8 slot when you look at HGC in terms of depth. But them being in this tournament gives them the ability to work week after week to improve on the little things and become top-tier teams. What I'm seeing already right now is wonderful to see. They're making mistakes already, but they are improving. Already, Synergy, you can see more restraint. With beGenius, you can see more flexibility on their team already. These are small things that eventually build up to big moments. I'm very proud, actually, of them here in game number 3.
Yeah, one of the duos that we're seeing on beGenius that can be kind of common in the competitive scene is Alarak and Malfurion. You drag them forward, you look for that combo, and then you get the roots underneath them while that's going on, locking them in place for things like Li Ming and Falstad, any range damage dealer really, to then do big burst damage to that target. So if the Alarak and Malfurion can sync up well for beGenius, we could see them turning the tide later on.
Yeah, they have kill potential. You're right. Complete with that combo. Now we're moving into the Immortal phase once again. The Synergy has just hit level 9. The One of the main things you want to do when you hit level 9 here is you actually just want to delay for a little bit unless your Greymane can get on the Immortal, and you want to move towards level 10 because that almost secures you in Immortal.
Yep.
Once you hit 10, you go find that pressure and you push in. Take that slight early advantage that you already have and push it to the limits. And they're doing that. They're in the top lane grabbing these turrets. That's free experience. Brightwing's in the bottom. But at the same time, beGenius realizes this is occurring, and they've moved 4 members down. Brightwing gets picked off, and that hurts.
Nicely done by beGenius there. It's going to be almost trade for trade, but this kind of favors the position that we're seeing here from Team Synergy. They already have themselves that one fort down towards the bottom dead, so that is going to be going down. If they'd have divided off Greymane, I think actually to do some damage maybe to the Immortal, but they were a little bit apprehensive of if the rotation could come back up because the Immortal's positions.
Synergy has a small window now. Brightwing phase shifts in. They want to push in and try to use the slight level 10 advantage they have.
Yeah.
However, beGenius, with the root there from Unstable, beautiful root, is in a position where they had a concave, they hit level 10, they got their experience, and now they're on even footing. Great orchestrated play by both these teams in that last couple of minutes. Brightwing getting picked off, still allowed for a fort in the top left to be taken out, and beGenius closed the gap on experience.
This is where this kind of, you can see the line that have been created here by beGenius to ward their opponents off them. This is where beGenius's composition is its most powerful during this Immortal phase. Sitting in the middle, poking away at their opponent's Immortal, and just begging Team Synergy to slightly overextend for a moment where they can get blown up. So, but now they've been wrestled away of that position.
Yeah, one of the best ways for Synergy to actually stop that positioning, and you just saw there, they have Sir Ice Cream with the Oracle to get vision of where Li Ming is, and then Power tries to take the vision that isn't available to the opposing team and tries to sneak it on Li Ming. Kirwa, though, is on point with his teleports away.
And now they've wrestled it back again, so beGenius still creating this small barricade towards the middle. Hour of Dream, hoping one member will step away, and Volstad went up towards the top there to start cleaning up that lane. That might be an opportunity here for Synergy. Seeing him on the minimap to try and go far forwards. They did for a moment there, and we'll just stop for a moment.
Brightwing brings in the phase shield, or phase shift, moves in. Pressure starts happening finally here. Power's about to have his power slide in a couple of seconds, so he can go for an engaging. Danatan, though, trying to push everyone back. Hydra keeping up with the DPS, though, and does get the Immortal down. And they will be able to start the next sequence where the Immortals spread out and reset.
There was no deaths, there was very little damage done to either team, but you could see a very cool series of moments in that tussle for positioning where both compositions really kind of come into their own. And now we begin again with beGenius trying to get that poke wall going down. That being said, Muradin goes a little far forwards. Combination goes on towards Danatan. Here comes some damage from Kirwa. On towards Hydra. Doesn't take too much, though. Danatan in the thick of things will use Gust to get him out of there. And Synergy now just go back to their original position.
Solid cleanse there by Unstable to allow Muradin to back up and then pop his avatar after the polymorph did finish off. Neon is over it, though. Hits his R button here and will go into Odin form. Start poking down. Hydra on the left side here has to be careful because the Immortal is assisting here in stuns. Kirwa, though, gets fourth walled in and will be taken out. Now Hydra and crew are one to move forward. They start DPSing the Immortal, and they're going to take another one.
Sir Ice Cream with the play. That force wall that you just mentioned was the key to unlocking that Immortal. Well done there by Sir Ice Cream. And I can never take that seriously. And they will now be able to push with this if they can find the power behind it.
Man, the way that these teams are playing makes me get StarCraft flashbacks, but it's like, with siege tanks moving forward and slowly encroaching on the Immortal and trying to slowly take positioning back and forth.
This map in particular.
Yeah. It works out when in that entire middle map where you're trying just to hold these angles and deny vision. It's very fun to watch and witness. The smallest maneuvers give you the biggest advantages.
We found our TVT.
That's right.
We found our TVT. I like it.
All right, the pressure continues in the bottom left. Power trying to stay in the front line, taking a chunk to the face there, though, as Kirwa is helping out with these orbs and a few of these missiles. Now, they keep in trouble, to keep the main thing to kill here. Get that catapult pressure. There goes the force wall to keep Li Ming back there, so the only one you have to look at is Tank for the win. Alaric, though, is in a good position here to maybe get a combo. However, the Immortal pushes them away.
That Gust was necessary because Danatan actually used Dwarf Toss to get into the middle of the fight. So they didn't particularly want him being caught with his pants down. And Danatan keeps himself alive at the expense of that Gust. Losing a keep, though, is painful. Synergy is ruling the roost here when it comes to those mid-Immortal skirmishes. And beGenius somehow, I'm wondering how they're going to approach the next one, because that could spell the end of the game for them if they don't do it well.
Yeah, and it's even more painful for beGenius. He talked about that keep going down because of the catapult pressure on the bottom, because they have to put Falstad there to defend it eventually, which means this poke competition that they have gets significantly weaker without him there. It's weak here too, especially with Falstad being picked out. What is that, the 4th time we've had Falstad die this game? He seems to be the main target, and it makes sense. Falstad has a small health pool, and go for the throw with Greymane to just shred through that hero.
Yeah, Arky not having the most enjoyable time in this game for sure with that going on, and we will have a hard camp being stolen by Team Synergy on that side. And now that, so let's talk about momentum and steps in this game. Because that was stolen on their side, usually on Battlefield of Eternity, you want to time out your hard camp to then push while an Immortal is spawning. However, now they have taken that option away from beGenius on that side, and if they want, this is perfectly timed out. Oh god, Synergy, so good.
Synergy was playing the battlegrounds the way they're meant to be played here. Now getting some pressure on the top lane, and our teams will go back at it, start pushing into the Immortal phase. In the next 15 seconds they pop up. You usually want to guide these a little bit and make sure no one clears them up early.
And that position that you could see on the minimap there of beGenius, like lurking around their opponent's side of the map, they were trying to make something happen because they know that they had to. That's going to be Counter-Strike coming in there to try and do some damage to Power of Dream from the Alarak. Bakirova has already used his disintegration there to do some damage against them, but they will just back away. They know, just back away for the moment and keep alive.
Back away, let Brightwing top you off, slowly but surely, using those blink kills, using that smoothing mist there.
The thing is now is that I don't think beGenius can do their poke wall. Look, they've separated Falstad off, and this gives Synergy a great opportunity to get onto that Immortal, because beGenius can't play their mid-tier strategy because of that hard camp. It's really annoying for them.
Yeah, Falstad's the key to the disengage or the hard engage, right? If we ever have power move in heavily, you just have that mighty Gust available. With Falstad being in the top lane, Gust is not here, and the only main disengage is Tank for the win or a blink away. So you see that right now. Synergy pushing in.
Admittedly, it feels like they did a good job of denying a lot of damage to that Immortal, but there's going to be a false wall. ETC, though, gets caught, and that will be now beGenius is looking to put some more pressure on here. Sevka and Hydra in the thick of things. That is going to be maybe an attempt. They miss with one of the Suns there on towards Hydra, but he is in no man's land at the moment.
His supports are trying to help him out, but I think at this point, you just get rid of him and maybe let him go.
Oh my gosh,
he gets away. Beautiful support play and teamwork. At the same time, look in the bottom left, there's catapults getting closer and closer to that core. There are 3 stacking up, but the main goal for beGenius is to start getting pressure on the Immortal because they just got to pick on ETC.
Greymane getting away there was not only the fact that his supports were good with him, his jukes were good. Li Ming was not able to hit any of her combos, and that really caused some problems. But now beGenius has at least opened a door on this Immortal. They've taken their opponents down to half health, and now there's minions on the core. Did they just kill the catapults and then back off? Falstad is over there.
They're starting to do it now. They try to move 3 members down, but the immediate response here from Synergy was to get Greymane on the Immortal, which completely ties up the half and half Immortal, so they just left Falstad there, and they're keeping up with it. Hydra just shredding away, especially here with Neon on Odin. Here comes Falstad, though. He flies in on the top left. He's looking to get an engage on Greymane.
And they might try and do something here, but it's very difficult for him to do anything. Danatang moves into the thick of things. Polymorphed right after that Dwarf Toss. Going to take quite a bit of damage here. Gust to keep him alive again is being used here to keep the Warrior alive. And it's not only just been the Greymane here at this Immortal, it's also been the Commandeer Odin that's done so much damage. That's a mosh pit. He catches quite a few of them. A great cleanse out of the Ice Block from Unstable whilst he was in that mosh. And he will get, or Danatang will get away, but not the Malfurion. Oh my god.
Alarak and Malfurion down, all 5 members up for Synergy, and they have an Immortal. They go down in the bottom lane, and they want to start pressuring with this catapult. Be careful, they are slightly low on mana, but if Greymane can get on the core, he will start biting it down. Watch for Danatan. He's going to be key here in terms of how he deals with this Greymane.
Li Ming is one of the best core defenders in this game, and she's still alive with a front line available to her, but Arakeen, he doesn't have Gust, and he's going to end up falling. He goes a little bit too far forward. Kirva absolutely has to get some combos in on this lineup, but there's so much support, there's so much health behind this comp. I don't know if Kirva is going to be enough. Malfurion comes out once again, trying to heal up some of these members at the front, and Alarak is very much in the thick of things.
Synergy going for it, and they get the last hit on the core, and they will take it at 16 minutes and 48 seconds. Synergy goes up 2-1 in the series.
That last fight where we saw that mosh pit unfold was crazy. I really want to take a look at that again at some point.